Gonna work. Ready? 3, 2, 1. All right, what's good, Panther Nation? We back. We tried to come back. YouTube is tripping right now. So we're gonna record this episode of Zone Coverage. Hopefully next time YouTube is back up and we can stream it live so you guys can see. But since we have everybody, we're gonna just roll with the punches, and you might be seeing this a little late. But we're just gonna record this and re-release it to you guys. And if it happens to come back on the live stream, then you're welcome to join in. But today we got my man Jarrett, we got Noly, and we got Eddie. Some of the Chat Cat legends is in the streets right now, so we got them on the live to talk about DJ Moore because Dave clearly has some beef with DJ Moore, and we need to get this settled, man.
I don't have any beef. I'm wearing this jersey to the show.
We need to get he's trying to cape. He's trying to make up for his DJ Moore hate, but I don't know if y'all.
No. Listen, I like DJ Moore as a person.
We're not talking about another person.
Huh?
Facts.
This ain't about him being a person.
This is true.
He is a human being.
ESPN stats. That's what it's all about.
That's fine, man. You can stat me up, and I'll stat you back.
That's what this episode is all about. We're here to uncover what is the issue with DJ Moore. Are we or am I holding him to a too high of a level? Because as you remember, I did the stat prediction video, and I said, hey, this dude is about to be a 1,300-yard receiver. I said somebody else going to be 1,300-yard receiver too, and that didn't work out too well. But I felt a little bit more confident. I felt the 1,200. I did say 1,200. I felt a little bit more confident about DJ Moore attaining 1,300 or 1,200, whatever I said for DJ Moore. And he's still on pace to get that. I mean, to be fair, he is on pace for, let me see, 1,100 yards. So a little over 1,100 yards. So he's still on pace to do good things as far from a number standpoint. But there's something wrong with DJ Moore. There's some other stats that we can dive into to kind of figure out what's going on with DJ. But Dave, I want to know from your mouth, pause, what is the issue with you and DJ Moore? Why do you have beef with DJ Moore?
Let me be clear. No. I don't have beef with him, the human being. I have beef with him as a wide receiver from a fantasy perspective and from a NFL perspective, from the fact that every single time when we would try to get him to clock in when we need him to clock in, he hasn't. I can argue he's cost us games. I can legitimately argue that. I can argue it. And the fact that, yeah, he's at the beginning of the season, he's getting the targets. But he's not executing upon them. But then when you go back and look at the stats from the other previous 2 seasons, he's been a drop magnet. When you go back and look, he's been a drop magnet. Like I've been frustrated with him as a fantasy wide receiver because I haven't been able to depend on him as one. Because I drafted him to be a top 10 to 15 wide receiver. And statistically, he's probably there, but it's because he's had really big games. But then he's also had some really terrible ones, like the one that we just had on Sunday. And for somebody that's a starting wide receiver in the NFL, his target distribution is not where it needs to be. All right, so that's just my opinion on the matter. Now, granted, when you go back and look at the stats, so he's right now like pretty much close to on pace to where he was at last season from a target standpoint. He's pretty close to it.
And yards. And yards.
Yeah, he's close to it. But it's just, it seems like this year he's not really doing like, and then when you consider the fact that we expect him to take a step forward, and I don't think he's done that.
So let me jump in here, Dave. So for you guys, do you think it's fair for everyone in the room who wants to answer this question? Do you think it's fair for us to hold DJ Moore to a little bit higher of a standard than he was, for him to build off of what he did last year?
I think it's fair. I compare him to Calvin Ridley because they went right behind, one pick after the other. Whenever I see Calvin Ridley doing something, I'm looking at DJ Moore like, hey, we got to get these touchdowns. Calvin Ridley had 10 touchdowns one season, I believe. So I feel like he needs to pick it up in that aspect of his game. We don't really have a red zone threat. I would like to see him be that athlete in the red zone because he can win the 50-50 ball. It's just about going up there and obtaining it, pretty much for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair. I don't mind at all. I just think we got to add context to it as well. He's playing with his third different quarterback. Not that he's not used to it, but to me, he's done more. I mean, I don't want to say with less, but what did he have? He had Cam healthy for a little bit, and then hobbled Cam, and then the next year he has Kyle Allen and gets 1,100 yards with Kyle Allen. And then now he has Teddy with a shortened offseason, and Teddy had been throwing to Robbie Anderson all offseason. So, and learning a new offense. So to me, he's a playmaker. I think he's going to get better. To me, his ceiling, if I'm going to be honest, what I thought he could be, maybe a top 7, maybe top 5 if we're pushing it. But my floor, to me, he could be easily a top 10 to 15 receiver, closer to 10. But part of me is also just thankful to have some weapons after the trash we've had at wide receiver.
Thanks. That's a good point.
I would say that I agree as well. I think that DJ just came into a really hard situation this year. When you come back and think about it, you think about, of course, as you all were saying, we have a new head coach, new quarterback. Teddy already has some repertoire with one of the receivers. And then with DJ already being the number 1, he gets those looks. We know Teddy isn't the most like, hey, I'm going to risk throwing a ball out there. So it's just, I think the position that we have him playing, I think he probably played closer to the Robbie Anderson role last year. He was more the possession receiver last year, which kind of led to him being able to do everything underneath. But this year, it might be different. It might be more of you stretch the field. We don't have everyone else play underneath, and since you have that attention, it's just going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah. So is there concern with the drops? Because Dave brought it up. He has had some drops. He's had some fumble issues, which we haven't seen in a while. I haven't seen him fumble the ball in a while. But I know his first couple of years, he was a fumble machine. But right now, he leads right along with Stephon Diggs, leads the league in drops. To Stephon Diggs' credit, he has about 20 more. He has about double the receptions and about 30 more targets. So there's a little bit more volume for him to drop. So it's not as equal, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So if you want to kind of go extrapolate it a little bit further, drop percentage is a number to look at. Like how many, he's at a 16% drop rate. So like every 6 passes is going to be a drop for DJ. That's where he's at right now. So is there concerns with the drops, and do you think that attributes to what I guess Teddy's trust? Because Teddy is going to Curtis. It's surprising how, I mean, even on third downs, we know Curtis is the new Mr. Third Down, so he's looking for a Curtis there, and obviously we know what's going on with Robbie. Robbie's getting his targets no matter what, and that just kind of leaves DJ kind of hanging out there. But do you think the drops has something to do with him not getting those targets? Do you think there's a trust issue there?
Absolutely, because Teddy is top 5 and highest catchable ball rate in the league right now. So it's not correlating. It's not.
But the thing is, what if it's a trust issue? What do quarterbacks? How do quarterbacks trust their wide receivers? Like what is the key thing to get that trust for your quarterback as a wide receiver?
Catch the ball.
Catching the ball.
And get to your spot on your route.
That too.
Exactly.
Yep.
And
so
Go ahead.
Oh, I was thinking back to the what was the game of I forgot, a few games ago, where was it that they said DJ ran the wrong route at the end of the game?
Yeah.
And that was probably huge for Teddy being like, hey, if you can't, why feed you if you're not doing what's right?
What game was that? I didn't hear about it.
Oh,
yeah, I can't recall what the game was, but I definitely remember that.
Okay.
I think
it was the Bears. Was it not the Bears game?
I
think it was the Bears game. Jarrett's right. I think it was the
I'm
Bears game.
I'm gonna find out right now.
Definitely remember them not being on the same page there because we all remember DJ having his hand on the ball, but he couldn't complete the catch.
Oh,
Yeah,
there was that too.
He expected him to go deeper in his route, and it looked like Teddy overthrew him, and that
fourth down
wasn't the case. Yeah, the fourth down. Yep, the fourth down.
Fourth down, I think it was at the end of the game.
It was at the well. To DJ's credit, we did have another opportunity down the road, and Teddy threw the interception targeting DJ Moore. And see, that's my thing. That's my biggest concern moving forward with the whole inconsistency with DJ Moore is that when he has games like the 2 catch 3 target game, guess what's going to happen the next week? He's going to get like 30 targets. They're going to force it to him, and it's not going to come. It's going to come. Not going to come in the in the flow of the offense. It's going to be forced to him. Oh, now we got to get DJ the ball now because he had a terrible week last week. I think that's just me personally. I think that's what's going to happen. I think he'll have a big game against Tampa just because of that, just to kind of shut the people up about DJ. And then we'll be back. We'll be like, oh, look at DJ, he's great again. And then another couple games he'll be inconsistent. Whatever the case may be. And again, I'm not saying it's all DJ's fault. I'm just saying that I don't know how the inconsistency just has me concerned, and it's about the flow of the offense to me. The offense is not going to flow because we're going to be trying to force DJ the targets. And another thing about our offense is I feel like we have a lot of redundant talent, if that makes sense. We have a lot of guys that need the ball in space. You got Curtis needs the ball in space. He needs a lot of touches to get going. You got DJ needs the ball in space because they're all yak guys, right? You get the ball to them and let them go. There's a lot of redundant talent. We need some of those guys to kind of come out and do I don't know, have them do different things. Even with McCaffrey, when he's playing, get him the ball in space. That's why he had the 10 targets. Get him the ball in space and let him go. It's just a lot of redundant talent to me, and I don't know what that means going forward. I'm just saying I feel like there's just an overlap, and I think DJ's getting lost in the sauce as far as trust. That's just my opinion. Any thoughts on that? I know I spoke a lot, but any thoughts on that?
Do you feel that none of these guys are true wide receivers?
No, I'm not saying that.
Robbie.
I just think that DJ Moore is a pure wide receiver, and so is Robbie Anderson, and so is Curtis Samuel. I think they all are. I just think my biggest issue with DJ Moore is that he needs more targets than everybody else to get it done. And if you're a number one wide receiver, that's problematic. Like it's one thing if you're like always a deep threat all the time, but Moore's not just running those routes. He's doing more than that. And that's why I'm annoyed by what I see. And it's easy to say, oh, well, he's still on pace, but look what it took to get there. It's kind of like Russell Westbrook, right, in the NBA. Everybody talks about how great Russell Westbrook is, but look what he has to do to get to that point. He's got to take a massive amount of shots. He's got to do a lot of things to get to that point. And that's where we're at with DJ. Like, he's got to have a lot of targets. But then to make matters worse, the fact that he doesn't execute when we need him to execute in key moments in these games, it shows. Well, then it balloons the issue.
I think to DJ's credit, though, we're talking about one game where he really kind of...
There's at least 2 games that cost us that was on him. He ran the wrong route in one of them.
That's the same game. That's the same game.
He dropped a touchdown pass in another one.
That was the same game, Dave.
Both of them was the same game?
Yeah, in Chicago. We killed him after that game, Dave. And he had a nice stat. He had a nice stat line too. But we still killed him because of the drop and I guess the route thing came out after the fact, but we killed him that game.
All right, so that was the Chicago game.
That was the Chicago game.
He dropped the pass with one of his targets last game too. That was key. Had us out here kicking a 68-yarder with
that was the deflected. Dave, you trying to throw false narratives out of DJ, man. You gotta chill. All right, fine. You gotta chill, man. You just throwing all kind of shit out here. All right,
fine. You want numbers? I'll give you numbers. Curtis Samuel has more catches than him.
Say that again.
Curtis Samuel has more catches than him this year.
And he missed
playing one less game.
Yeah, I was gonna say he missed the game.
Playing one less game and having 20 less targets. He has more catches than him.
Yeah, some of the stats just to push back outside of the first game of the year, DJ had 9 targets. Then he had 13 the next week, and then the other game that came close was Chicago. Other than that, I mean, I'm seeing the targets right now: 3, 6, 5, 5, 6, 4, and he's a big play guy for the most part. I mean, there's plenty of games on here where he's averaging 20 yards a catch. Like against the Chargers, he had 4 catches for 65 yards. Against Atlanta, 5 catches. Not like he is the big play guy. He's always been, and if you look at his stats going to 2018, I mean, how many games did we see like 5 catches, 80 yards, 9 catches?
He's a yak guy too. I mean, a lot of that is yak. It's a yak machine. And to your point, Noly, I think maybe because I did read an article today. I think it was in the Charlotte Observer where they were saying that Joe Brady was in Teddy's ear saying, "Hey, you know, we got DJ deep," but then they were running a cover too. So I think they wanted to go to DJ and they couldn't. So I think we're killing DJ, but I think there's a lot of technicalities that we're missing as far as, and I haven't looked at the tape. I got to go back and look at the tape. But obviously everybody's seen the play where he had a step on your boy and Teddy, had his eyes locked on. And that's a valid knock of Teddy Bridgewater. He does not go through his progressions like that. He gets his eyes locked in on a guy and he's going there. Okay? So that's a valid critique. And so maybe that's a part of the problem here. Go ahead, my fault.
No, you got
that's
to go
part
to that
of it.
play.
You know what the other part is?
What?
A 56% catch rate.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
I and the thing is, we can't say, oh well, DJ, like it's because DJ's going this deeper routes for DJ, but you just saying Robbie Anderson ain't got deeper routes. He's got a 75% catch rate.
Yep.
Yeah, and again, I think they're different kind of receivers. But like a typical DJ game is like 5 catches, 80, 90 yards. That's just the kind of wide receiver he is.
Yeah.
And maybe with Brady, and because of all the weapons they have, maybe he just, it's like, all right, this game you're just not going to get that many because they're favoring him. But honestly, what do you think is the reason why the targets have been, I mean, like I said, outside of 3 games where he's had 9, 13, and 11, everything's been 6 and below target-wise.
Because you got a lot of dink and dunks to the running back, but once again, you had that before. The fact that Robbie Anderson's there doesn't help. The fact that Curtis Samuel is eating up these Tyrant is help. It doesn't help. And I think what it boils down to, like I mentioned Robbie Anderson's numbers, the catch rate, and I mentioned DJ Moore's catch rate. Curtis Samuel's catch rate
88%.
Higher than
88%.
Yeah, it's like
I got it right here.
88%.
It's number one in the NFL, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like,
and those are tough catches too. I mean, those aren't easy.
Yeah,
catches.
like, and it ain't no dink and dunks that Curtis is doing. He's making some phenomenal catches.
He's making some really good catches.
91%, according to PFF. Curtis.
91. Okay, so my fault. I was wrong. I had 88.
And the next closest.
No, I just did the math. It's 88%.
Yeah, I had 88 too. Yeah, I had 88.
Okay.
But no, either way, it's high as hell. Okay, either way, it's high as hell.
And the thing is, Curtis, and here, put it in perspective. Curtis had 9 catches on Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was his highest target game all year.
Yep, and he caught all 9.
And he caught all 9 of them.
All of them.
So if you take, so even if you take that out, just for the sake of, let's say that's the outlier. Even if you take that out, so that's what? That's 29 divided by 34. He's still at 85%.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not getting the same target share, but he has more catches than the guy. And I think part of the reason why DJ's like, besides the fact it might be a game planning thing, but I think that catch rate is costing him a little bit, man.
It is.
Because Joe Brady wants that offense to be efficient. It can't be efficient if you're out here dropping passes.
I think we need to go back to how we used them in 2018. I haven't seen the
Yes.
I haven't seen them getting in space. I haven't seen the screens like that. Like I feel like even things like Deebo Samuel's being used. Because he thrived when he was doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The closest we've seen this year is that New Orleans game. And to me, that's why I don't freak out about DJ. Like we saw back-to-back against New Orleans and Atlanta 2 weeks before, what he can do. Like that New Orleans game, he hit him deep. He had nice intermediate catches. And then he had that sweep where he had that, it was a passing touchdown. But like, to me, on that game, again, 5 targets and 93 yards. Like I also want to know, compared to Robbie and Curtis, how deep of a route is he running? Because to be honest, you remember how Curtis was
I can
used
understand.
last year, right? You know the amount of times Kyle Allen missed him wide open when he was like
Yeah.
could have had. We haven't been using Curtis like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Curtis has been more short to intermediate.
Yeah.
Whereas last year was open deep.
Correct. Curtis is the intermediate guy. He's the underneath. Everything is kind of like, or in the backfield. He's getting everything. Go ahead, Jarrett.
Roles were reversed last year.
Yeah. And I'd argue that I would start to use Curtis a little more, not exactly how Norv did, but like you can, I mean, I don't know why he can't catch 50, 60-yard go route touchdowns. Like, I mean, he can get open. But with DJ, I would be interested to see what the stats are on, because, I mean, just statistically speaking, the further the route is, the lower chance there is for it to catch, not excusing the 56% catch rate, but I'm wondering how deep are his routes? Like, what percentage of his routes are further down the field compared to Robbie or Curtis?
Let me see. Let me see if I can do this. I'm gonna try to pull up next gen stats, and we can see the chart.
I would say that Norv used DJ in the slot more than he's used this year. I think Curtis is used more in there now, which probably affects at least the targets. But looking at the catch percentage for everybody, I mean, this is Robbie Anderson's best catch percentage year by far.
Mm-hmm. And like you said,
he's been playing with some shitty quarterbacks though.
Dude, like he played for the Jets.
He still had Teddy for a little bit, right? 1 year.
He had who?
It was preseason. It was preseason.
Yeah, he wasn't a starter.
Yeah, he wasn't a starter.
It's just crazy seeing how, and then as we said before, you know, if everyone's over here, everyone's catching the ball better than him. I don't know what Ian Thomas even catch percentage is, but if it's better than DJ,
So I have it. If the tight end, the tight ends are catching it better, and I combine the tight ends, Ian Thomas and Manhurts, their catch rate is 66.67%. So it is higher.
Let's talk about that number, 66.67%.
Yep.
Because DJ Moore has been in the 60% range of catch rate. He was like 66% his first year, around 64% the second year. This is the first time he's below 60. He's sitting around 56 right now. He's at that pace right now.
Been going down each year.
Yeah. So, like, from that standpoint, like, he ain't I don't want to just keep bashing the guy.
Nah, do it, Dave. Bash him.
No, but it's just, I see it. Like, when we drafted this guy, even Steve Smith said they finally found somebody to replace him. But Steve Smith would never.
See, and that's the expectation thing. Like, for me, like I said, I always thought, you know, he has the athleticism and the talent to be a top 5 receiver, but I thought he'd be somewhere between 6 to 12, maybe as low as 13, 14. But, like, to me, I just figured, like, I never expected him to be that high. He has the talent to do it, but to me, I think it's just the circumstances of coaching. I don't want to excuse some of the drops. I mean, if we're going to grill Funches and KB for the drops, you can grill him for the drops.
Yeah, period. Point blank, period.
To me, Robbie and Teddy, they had that connection all off season, and they go way back. I think.
But the thing is, here's what it boils down to for me, right? I completely agree with you. They go way back. They known each other for a while. Like, got it. But you know who hasn't gone way back with Teddy Bridgewater? Curtis Samuel. And that's the problem. Like, I can't. Curtis Samuel.
We got to see. I want to see the routes. That's what I want to see. Is because if Curtis is running
Curtis last year.
Yeah. And that's my thing. If Curtis is running more short to intermediate routes, then obviously that's going to be a higher catch rate. So I want to be fair to DJ, because if he's running more deeper routes, even if it's a good ball, like the fact that it's 15, 20 yards down the field, it's just not going to be completed at the same percentage as Curtis running, you know, a 5-6 yards route here and there.
Nah, it's fair. Like, I expect running backs.
All right. Let me see here.
He's pulling it up. I expect running backs to have higher percentage, or short passes to have higher percentage. There's no question about that. But, like, you know, DJ.
Hold on 1 second.
He's gonna pull up the next gen stats. But DJ, it's just insane. I just don't.
You're just not thankful. I'm just kidding.
Nah, I'm thankful, man. It's just,
here's my thing.
Just irritating.
I feel you. But
Good.
after that 2017 playoff game where we had Kalen Clay, Brenton Burson, and Devin Funches, like, what I'm saying is like,
let's look at their catch radiuses. Y'all might cry.
Yeah. Yeah, and my thing is like we finally have receivers that are good. Could DJ get better? Yes, and I think he will. It's just for me, I'm not stressing like crazy. DJ somebody I want to pay.
But you know who I think might be concerned about what's going on with DJ though, man?
Who?
The coaching staff.
Yeah,
Ooh.
That's not
true.
somebody I would let walk.
And the thing, and I said this to Marcus, because Marcus came by the crib today. I said this to Marcus when we were discussing DJ Moore, and I said, look, man, I wouldn't be surprised if we try to put a run in to try to trade us behind during the offseason.
DJ is somebody I would pay. I'm just.
But here's my thing: like, he's still on his rookie deal.
Mm-hmm.
Probably can get some level of trade capital for him. There'll probably be somebody willing to do it. You pay Curtis Samuel, and then you trade DJ away. I could legitimately see that if something doesn't improve.
What's that, Jarrett?
I'm not trying to do it. I've seen too many years where we were begging for wide receivers.
Right.
Yeah,
I get it.
Now,
but here's the problem.
We gotta hold on, Dave, real quick. We gotta pump the brakes a little bit. We gotta talk about perspective because we have had some really ass wide receiving cores, and we're speaking from a place of privilege to be critiquing a guy that is ranked number 13 in the NFL in receiving yards.
I get it.
Um,
I just want to be clear that we are speaking from a place of privilege.
I have a level of greed here.
Corey Brown back. He wants to get the country back.
Could you imagine if Cam had these weapons?
But here's the problem. We're gonna end up, dude. Like, but here's the thing, right? And this is the reality of the fact. We did the hashtag Keep Curtis during the game on Sunday.
Facts.
But we're going to have a situation where we're going to lose one of these guys. We're going to probably have to pick.
So who's more replaceable? I don't know if you're going to find somebody. Obviously, all these positions could be maybe not elite wide receiver.
Yeah, they're all replaceable.
Yeah, but like for me, if you're asking me, I'd rather keep DJ and Curtis and take a chance on a wide receiver. I think losing Robbie would be tough, but I think the ceiling of DJ
here's the
is
problem.
higher than anybody.
As long as Ted is a quarterback, you're not losing Robbie. So that's not happening.
That's a fact. Yeah,
that's not happening.
As long as Robbie will take a pay cut to stay with. Robbie's not going anywhere.
That's it. I'm not.
He got the temple tie, dude. He's got the temple ties.
He got the TTs, Dave. The
Robbie
TTs
is between DJ and Curtis, so you're gonna have to accept that one of those guys are walking.
Robbie's not going anywhere.
It's gonna have to be Curtis.
Your hand, then you do it. But I'm looking at that Shaq contract if we do have to do that.
Yes,
that's
snip,
a fact.
snip.
That's
snip,
a fact.
snip.
But I will say with the Shaq contract, we can walk from that. It's safe to walk from that after this year. He didn't have a lot of guaranteed money, so
I would let him walk, and then I would go ahead and keep DJ.
To me, the ceiling of DJ Moore is higher than any other wide receiver on the roster. The ceiling.
You don't think Curtis
I don't know, man. Curtis is electric, bro.
They're using him as
the ceiling is if he never gets there. I mean, we know that he has the potential, but if he keeps these drops and stuff going, this
can work. I think but to me, Curtis, they're not using him. I agree, Eddie, but Curtis, they're not using him like Norv did. They're pretty much using him as not half the time, but they're using him like the way Deebo Samuel is. So to me, if we're talking just pure wide receiver, I think DJ has a higher ceiling than Robbie.
All right, so real quick, let's take a look at these routes because I have them up. It's not all of them. It's only the incomplete and the complete passes.
Okay.
So it's just
from
to
week
add,
one, right?
some kind. This is from week 1. So there's nothing deep. So what exactly are you looking for, Noly? What are you trying to see in these?
Compared to Curtis, what's the average depth of target? Is that what the stat is called? How deep compared to Curtis?
I think we might be able to find that in the.
Is that what the stat is called? ADOT? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What the terminology is.
Average depth of target.
Yeah. Because McCaffrey's is like going to be low, compared to somebody like Robbie.
Okay, I probably can't. Let me see. I probably can find that in. If you give me some time, I could probably find it in PFF.
Oh, is that Stephon Diggs with a 69% catch rate?
Yeah, Stephon Diggs has a lot of drops.
He has a lot of drops.
But he has a lot of targets.
He's almost at 70%. But he's
got a lot
almost
of
at
targets.
70%.
A lot of targets.
He's been thriving since he left Minnesota.
But yeah, no. So you still want to look at the routes?
Oh, we don't have to. I was just wondering.
Yeah, I don't. If you're looking for the number, I can probably find it. Find it.
Hey, so I did find it, Noly.
Okay.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Stop sharing.
Yeah. Curtis Samuel was at 6.72 yards, and DJ's at 12.5.
So double.
Robbie's at 9.77.
Big play guy. That's what and I'm guarantee you, DJ Moore is averaging 18 yards a catch. That's got to be one of the highest in the NFL. That's got to be at least top 10, maybe top 5.
Average. He is.
Oh, it looks like
he's top 5. He's top 5.
Chat, I think. Hold on a second. I think we might be live, yo. Hold on a second.
Oh, for real?
Hold on, let me check. It looks like they said we back, so let's see something.
That's why
they said that, and then I checked.
Yeah, we're back. We back.
Yeah.
We back. All right, we good. All right, see.
All right, we didn't even realize we were live. My bad. That's funny.
But now I saw it in the chat, and I said, "Oh, we're back." All right, we're back.
All right, that's why I left it live, but we're good. All right, so yeah, you guys probably haven't been able to hear everything, but we'll have to re-release because we discussed a lot.
We'll release the whole episode.
We'll release the whole everything. I'm recording.
Welcome everybody.
Yeah, but welcome.
How's your friends?
David said trade.
Dave definitely said trade. Trade DJ.
Well, we probably should talk about that.
Dave said trade DJ.
I didn't say trade DJ. I said the coaching staff might be concerned with all these damn drops, and they probably realize that they got to pick between the two because they already paid Robbie. So you're gonna have to pick between the two, and if you're gonna have to pick between the two, and if you want to keep Curtis, you got to make that decision soon. I don't think there's a viable route to keep both.
And
there isn't a viable route to keep both.
You have to pass on DJ.
Say it again, Jarrett.
I'm keeping DJ.
There's not enough players on this roster for me to have to pass on DJ.
But let's say hypothetically, let's play GM. I know some folks don't think we have one, so let's play GM for a minute. All right. Let's say the offseason happens, we're like 4-12, 5-11, whatever, right? We're sitting here knowing that we need a lot of pieces. All right. And we say, all right, we're putting DJ Moore in a trade block. Would you take a 3rd-round pick for him? Would you take a 2nd-round pick for him? If it's a high one?
I'm doing whatever it takes to keep my 3 wide receivers, all 3 of them together forever.
All right, but what if trading DJ is contingent on keeping Curtis?
I don't think that has to be the case.
No.
Give me DJ over Curtis. I think you can find a Curtis type player in the draft. Granted, again, it'll be tough, but
I think all right. So let's say hypothetically DJ hits his 1,200 yard rate.
Yes.
And the coaching staff already made the decision. We can't keep both. I mean, where's the value going to be? You can't now. Curtis is a free agent, so you got to figure that out. Are you going to franchise tag Curtis?
You're not about to line. You're not about to line Curtis up and have him have this great season to let him walk away. I think they'll find a way to keep Curtis.
Man, him and Moten.
Yeah,
but that's my thing, right?
And there's a way. There's a pathway to
let Curtis walk.
There's
I know
there's
this
a
sounds
pathway
crazy.
to
He's
do it.
playing well.
There's a pathway to do it.
There is. Obviously, you can't keep Robbie, DJ, and Curtis. To me, the one I would keep, and granted, this is maybe we could talk about the McCaffrey contract. Granted, I don't think anybody want to pay him, but to me, obviously, you sign Moten, but DJ is the one wide receiver I am keeping because his ceiling is so high. I just don't think I'm gonna give up after this year. And to me,
I think it's just about. I think it's about a lot of things too, right? Like we're talking about how DJ's being how he's performing right now, but we're not even thinking about what could possibly go on in the locker room. I mean, he might be cool with his targets dropping, and that would be problematic if you're supposed to be a 1.
Yeah, ain't no wide receiver cool with their targets dropping.
So if this trend continues, he's probably gonna want out.
That could be true.
That's true.
That could be true.
So there's a lot of other things you gotta take into account with that.
Yeah, I agree. I just think you can replace Curtis more because of what he played. Like Slim said, he played that joker back position. I don't hate that term, but he played that. I think you could find a Curtis, like he's saying in the chat, a Jalen Waddle, okay, rather than a rather than DJ. And the reason why I keep DJ is how much do you really think, assuming he stays at this pace and let's say next year, another 1,200, he's not going to be commanding Michael Thomas, OBJ money. You're looking at a contract commensurate to what Diggs and Thielen got maybe in Minnesota. So that to me is another reason why I keep DJ. And I think he's going to get better year after year.
Yeah, no, I think I think it's a bit premature to talk about trading DJ, but obviously you got to explore.
Well, it's not like it's.
But I hear what you're saying, Dave.
I know it's easy to say it's premature. I know it's. I understand why folks think that it's premature, but I'm just thinking about it as a GM, right? You know that you got to pay. If you want to keep Curtis, that means you're going to have to pay Curtis.
How much you talking?
All right, so if you're out here and you know that you gotta pay Curtis, and you decide, all right, we're gonna pay Curtis, you know DJ Moore's contract is coming up too. You ain't gonna be able to afford both of them because DJ's gonna be like, well, I should get more than Curtis.
But I don't think Curtis. Yeah, like what kind of numbers y'all think Curtis is gonna demand out in these streets? Like,
so
Curtis,
do you honestly think if that man goes to free agency? If he at the pace that he's going, like we're talking about the pace that Moore's at, Curtis might have 80 catches if he keeps his pace up.
You think he's breaking double digits?
Who, Curtis?
I said he might have 80 catches. I mean, he's got 38 already
on the open market.
I don't think Curtis breaks double digits.
He's not going to hit double digits.
I think he will.
I don't think he will.
You think he's going to hit double digits?
You think he's going to get paid more than Robbie? You know, Robbie's getting what, 10?
No,
really?
Robbie's getting I thought it was 11, but either way,
24 million. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get that much. I don't think he's in.
I think he's in
the range of about, realistically, to stay with the Panthers. I think Curtis is going to be in the range of about 7 to 8.
Yes.
I don't think he'll get not, and that's not a lot. That's not a lot of money in the grand. That's why I'm saying it's in the grand scheme of things. It's possible to keep Curtis. Now it's different. It's a different discussion if he hits the open market. Now that's you let him hit the open market, and once he gets the open market,
it's a wrap.
Anybody can throw a $10-12 million number. He could get that, but I'm talking about from a Panthers perspective. You can get you can get Curtis 7-8 million. Per
if Devin Funchess can get double digits, Curtis Samuel can get double digits. Let me tell y'all that right now. In the free
Devin Funchess got the TV deal. That's why he's lucky. That
it doesn't matter what deal he got. If Devin Funchess is out here getting double digits, and he was pretty dash leaving Carolina.
It was 1 year though. It was a 1 year deal.
It doesn't matter. That man got double digits.
That's true. It's true.
He got double digits.
It is true.
So if we're gonna sign Curtis, we gotta sign him before he hits the market. Otherwise, we're gonna have to tag him.
I would move on.
But we gotta probably have to. But if we don't sign Moton, we're gonna have to tag Moton. Can't tag both.
I mean, we're obviously hustling backwards. If I was GM, I would have traded Curtis before the deadline. I think you got something for him. And to me, whatever Stephon Diggs got paid in Minnesota, obviously he's in Buffalo. That's the kind of contract I see DJ getting. So it's not going to break the bank. And again, it's not like our roster is loaded with talent. We got people to pay, and they worked the McCaffrey contract to where it's not a terrible cap hit, except the last 2 years, which I think will get restructured. We can talk about that. But yeah, to me, if I'm choosing one, I'm picking DJ long term. I think you can replace Curtis with the Jalen Waddle. The year after that, it'll be somebody else. What DJ has at 210, 4.4, what he can do after the catch, I just think his ceiling is higher, personally. But I know others may disagree.
And again, the yak is important because I don't think you're gonna. Nobody's really thinking about this, but the yak is very important to what Teddy Bridgewater brings to the table. If you're gonna keep Teddy long term, and it may not be the case, but you need that yak yardage because Teddy's not gonna risk throwing the ball deep that very often. When it's available, he'll do it, but he's not gonna be out here risking life and limb to throw the ball deep. So that yak is important to Teddy Bridgewater.
I think we're 30.
And it looks like Robbie doubles DJ in yak yards for this year.
Almost speed, bro.
Robbie gets his targets, no doubt.
Robbie has 80 targets? 80 targets to DJ's 62.
Yep.
75% catch rate too.
They have the same air percentage, which is the average depth of target and volume of targets put together. So I guess it just come down to DJ catching the ball and making it be known that he can do what he can do. I mean,
Again.
it works out for him money wise down the road. It works out for us win wise.
Well, we got disrespect.
What tier of wide receiver?
Wait, timeout, Slim.
That's a great
DJ's had the targets. DJ has 62 of them. What do you mean he doesn't have the targets, Slim?
It's three games were heavy in the targets. But on average, you're right.
Or like two games he had double-digit targets.
I mean, you're talking 62 targets. He got 62 targets. I mean, 62 divided by 9 is almost 7. It's like,
but
7 times 9 is 63.
Yeah, I know. It was heavy in 2-3 games, though. That's my thing.
But then it goes back to my point. Like, he's out here getting these heavy peppers, and he's 13th in receiving, and he's getting these pepper targets in like 3 games. So, I mean, like, he's played 9 games. So, like, we're saying he's the 13th best. He's stat-wise, he's 13th, but we know he peppered it in 3 games.
Yeah,
but even the targets doesn't mean he's going to catch them, as he's been shown before.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And I think you guys didn't. The live viewers missed that whole discussion about the drops. I mean, the dude does lead the league in drops. Okay, that's just a fact. He leads the league in drops, and his drop percentage is high. He's dropping the ball on 16% of his catchable attempts, okay? So 1 in every 6 target essentially is going to be a drop. It's high in comparison to the league. So that's important. We can't just gloss over that. You know what I'm saying?
10% is still at 70%.
Huh?
His true catch rate is 70%.
His true what? You went in and out.
True catch rate is 70%.
It's true.
So what does that mean?
Wait, time out. So what does Robbie Answer's true catch rate?
They take into account balls that are off target as well. So his true catch rate would be 70%.
So what is Robbie's? I'm curious now. I'm intrigued.
Let me look at Robbie's. Because I know Curtis is like 95 whenever you take into true.
No, Curtis is catching everything, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, Curtis is 88 without that.
To mention. And I think what Jarrett brought it up earlier in the fact that Teddy has the highest catchable ball percentage in the NFL, or top. I think it was top 5. I think is what you said.
Yep, it's top 5.
Top 5 in catchable balls. So he's throwing the ball where the ball can be caught. So that's important.
Robbie's 86.
Robbie's 86.
Yeah, so that's high.
And
that's
Curtis
really,
is like
that's
90.
really high. That's really high.
It goes back. It goes back to that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I say it just goes back to what we talked about earlier. If everyone on the team is producing with their targets and DJ isn't, then it's like what? It's like, I mean, everyone over here is catching the balls that are thrown their way, not dropping them. I mean, what do you want Teddy to do? Beat him just because he's a 1?
No.
I mean, I understand that, but
well, here's the thing, right? We like people. I mean, but this is how quarterbacks operate. This is how pocket quarterbacks operate. When you have that trust with that wide receiver, you'll throw it to him. But if you get to the point where you out here dropping these key plays, you ain't gonna look his way. You're not. And it happens to everybody. Brady does it. Breeze does it. They all do it.
I think that rapport will improve next year because again, we looked at the average depth of target. DJ doubles Curtis, and Curtis has been doing well, but like. I feel like maybe if Curtis had the same average depth of target as DJ, he would have not maybe as bad of a drop rate, but we know Curtis, had issues with drops. Granted, he had that great catch in Kansas City. So I think it's
I'm
just
still looking at that catch.
And my thing is, I think it's just going to get better. I think a full offseason, you'll see the best version of DJ when he builds that rapport with Teddy because he's made tough catches this year. I mean, he had that one in San Diego. I know I'm forgetting a couple, but I think what he brings as a football player, the physicality, I think he's only going to get better. And like we said about the fumbles, I see him all the time now. He's holding on to the ball. He hasn't fumbled.
Yeah, he has improved there.
To me, that New Orleans Saints game, showed exactly what he can do. And let's be fair to DJ. There have been times he's been wide open and Teddy's missed him. I'm not going to bash Teddy. That happened. But you saw in that Atlanta game, could have had another 70-yard touchdown. So I think it's just a connection that they need to get. And I expect DJ will be even better next year with the full offseason, no COVID and all that.
I agree. I agree with that assessment. So, Dave, do you have any more thoughts? Do you want to continue to bash DJ, are you ready to let it go?
He hating.
Listen, as a football player,
And then tried to cape with the jersey on.
no,
Tried to
I was gonna put.
compensate.
I had every intention to wear the DJ Moore jersey today.
Tried to compensate.
As a football player, he's got to get his target rate up. If we're saying he's not a wide receiver one, then fine. He doesn't have to get his target rate up. But you have to decide what we're saying he is. Right? If you're telling me that he's not a wide receiver one, okay, his target rate's fine. We can roll with that. But we didn't draft him to not be a wide receiver one. Period. He's a first round draft pick. Right? So we gotta decide what we're gonna decide what DJ is gonna be. It's the same thing when I talk about. I know, like, I took heat about when I bashed Matt Rule after the first 2 games, but the reason why I bashed him is because of the standards that's expected out of him because of what he was getting paid. That's why I bashed him. So it goes back to DJ. You're a first round pick. Your 3rd year. This is like the year that you're supposed to be like the guy. Like, this is the guy year. You know what I'm saying? So we're not seeing that right now. And I think because we're not seeing that right now, I don't know if his target share is going to improve for the remainder of the season. I don't. Like, if Curtis keeps playing the way he's playing, with Teddy Bridgewater liking the pepper targets to the running back, with Robbie Anderson going to get the target share that he's going to get, I don't see it. Like, I don't.
I mean, that's a valid. I think that's valid. I think, but again, I think when you see the games like, and I said this earlier, you see the games like the 3 catch, 2 target games. Guess what's gonna happen this week coming up against the Bucks? It's gonna be a 7, 8, 9, 10 target game for DJ. They're gonna force it to him. They're gonna get him working in the game. So
would it be forced though?
I think it is. It is.
It's going to be forced.
Yeah,
and that's not what you want, right?
I don't think it'll be forced. I mean, he's
Absolutely.
one of the
Okay,
best
so
players.
Can you go back to the what was the target? The amount of targets he had before the Bears game.
All right, before the Bears game, he only had 4 catches. So hold on.
Yeah. So, and then you go back to that. Go back to the after that Bears game,
stats.
and then what he had.
Which one?
He for the Atlanta game, he had 5 targets. Before the Bears game,
Right.
the Atlanta game, he had 5. Arizona, he had 6. The Chargers, he had 4. The Bucks game, he had 13.
Garbage time though. We weren't behind.
Yeah, that was garbage time. Yeah.
And then the first game we had, and then the opening day he had 9.
So what was the game before the Bears and then the Bears game? Because he got a lot of targets in that Bears.
He
game.
got 5 targets against Atlanta, and then he got 11 targets against Chicago.
That's
and
my
he had
point.
6, and
That's
he
my
had
point.
6. He had 5 catches for 11 targets. Ever since then, he hasn't gotten more than 6 targets in a game.
Yep, correct. But the next game was that Saints game where he went off.
He had 4 catches for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns.
He had some big
But
plays.
he had 93 yards in 3 straight games. I mean, that's pretty.
He did.
Yeah.
I think plain and simple for DJ to, for all of us, if DJ could increase his catch rate. That's all. If DJ increased.
That's all I'm asking for. That's been my biggest complaint.
That's all it is.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right?
So he would. The more catches he gets, the more Teddy will trust him. As we talked about earlier, probably YouTube coming back.
Yeah, you guys missed. Just to be fair, you guys missed a lot of the conversation that happened prior to the YouTube coming on. So a lot of stuff that you're saying we didn't talk about, we actually did talk about. So you just missed it. But go ahead, Eddie.
We're gonna repost the whole thing when it's over.
Goes back to if DJ could catch the ball, get the trust back from Teddy that all the other receivers have on the team, then I think it would lead to him getting more targets. Just plain and simple.
Here's the thing, right? Everybody's saying we need to be patient. Now, not just you guys. I'm talking about the chat too. Everybody's saying we got time. We need to be patient. But I think what you guys are failing to realize is that unless the targets go to him, the numbers aren't going to go up. period. And it might be too late in the game for him to get that target distribution. We're 9 games into the season.
So
like,
what are you? Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Noly.
So like ideally, like what are you? So you just want the number of his catch rate. You just want that to be higher. That's it.
That's my big thing, man. Like, and the thing is, like, I'm not doubting DJ as a wide receiver because he's a freaking NFL player. Like, let's be frank. But from my standpoint, it's like, and I will admit, there's a fantasy factor to this because there is.
That's why I retired, by the way.
I know this is why you retired, but there's a fantasy factor to this too, and I have no problem with that. I'll be honest about it. There is a fantasy factor to it. I drafted that man because he gets targets. My belief in fantasy is if you have targets, you will get receptions. Receptions turn into touchdowns. The more targets you have, the more likely you're going to get catches and the more likely you get touchdowns. So the big thing for me is about the catch rate. And he hasn't been hitting the catch rate. So like he's not for him to be he ended up being the third wide receiver I took, but he should have been able to be wide receiver 1 numbers. So for him to be where he's at, he has to do better. Like he's not hitting that ratio. Like he had 2 big games and the rest he's been pretty much single digits in fantasy. He's not executing from that standpoint. Like you can't be out here saying that he's the one and you only getting 2 catches.
Well, the past 2-3 games, something's going up. I mean,
that's
for
my
him
thing.
to be,
like,
yeah.
Is he hurt?
No,
I don't think he's hurt. So, all right, so he's not hurt. I really think DJ might have lost the trust in this man. I really do.
You think Teddy lost trust in DJ?
Yeah.
That. Well,
and if that's the case, and not I mean, but that's what quarterbacks do. And I've said this numerous times, but now you guys in the chat get to hear it. They're only going to throw to the receivers that he trusts. You know, you can say, oh, it might be about the game plan. Okay, we'll see. We got Tampa coming up this week. We'll see what happens against Tampa at home. You know, last time they played Tampa, he had 8 catches for 120 yards. Maybe
down, but yeah.
Maybe he'll ball. And then you guys will beat me up on Monday. And okay, I'll roll with it. I'm cool.
So just to kind of wrap this up, I think the bottom line is that I think we again, and I think we might have said this before we caught back up on YouTube. We are definitely speaking from a place of privilege. Okay, we have 3 really good receivers, a couple backs that have some hands. And so let's just be clear on that. We said it before, and we're reiterating the fact we are speaking from a place of privilege. The thing is that, you know, we've seen some inconsistencies in DJ Moore, and I think I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with DJ. I think there's just a matter of, I think, game plan. I think a lot of what, especially in this past Chief game, which sparked a lot of this discussion, was that, and we said this earlier again too, is that, you know, they schemed for DJ. The deep passes, they were playing a lot of cover too, and they took DJ away. And yes, Teddy did miss him deep on that pass. It happens. Okay, that happens quite often. You know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna rag on DJ again. Put it in context. DJ's the 13th ranked receiver in the league right now. So again, we're bashing the guy that's ranked number 13 in total receiving yards right now.
Look, man,
I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
I'm Team DJ.
Just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. Listen, I'm a DJ. I like DJ. Okay, I like DJ. But there's some things to be considered. That drop rate is high. Like, he's dropping the ball a lot. That's something to be concerned about. You can't be dropping the ball like that. And then Mike Evans had a lot of drops too a couple years ago, but I'm sure he had that on a lot more targets. Again, we just gotta make sure that we, you know, just track what's going on. And again, I think DJ is gonna be fine in the long run. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's gonna be fine in the long run.
He's only in year 3.
So this,
yeah,
I get it, but oh God, man.
Let me just ask you a quick
this is the year where he's supposed to be making Pro Bowls. That's what this year's supposed to be.
I mean, who from his draft classes
saying like that?
Say that again, Jarrett. Hold on, Dave.
From his draft classes made the Pro Bowl.
Huh?
Well, wide receiver from his draft class has made the Pro Bowl.
That's a good question. I don't know
That's
who's
a
in his
valid-
draft class.
Did Calvin make it? Nobody. Calvin made.
I don't think.
Calvin didn't make
I don't
it?
think really. I don't think really made it. Let me see.
To be honest, man, you give him a full offseason with Teddy and this new system, and he finally has a QB because granted Cam and Kyle were hurt. I think he'll be fine. Like I said many times, I'm paying DJ. He's in my long-term plan. I'd rather, let Curtis go.
All right. So let's look at these wide receivers that got drafted in this draft. DJ Moore was the first one. Calvin Ridley, Cortland Sutton, Dante Pettis. Yo, man, that Christian Kirk's turning around this year. He's playing pretty well this year. Anthony Miller, he's all right. James
Miller's
Washington,
doing
he's lost his job. DJ Chark, he's doing pretty well. Gallup, trash. Traquan, he's got everybody else in front of him. Kiki can't stay healthy. Callaway, Deshaun, MVS.
Oh, he's top 2 in this class.
Huh?
He's top 2
He's
in this
top 2 in
class.
this
That's what we
class.
want him to be.
He's top 2 in this class.
And he has a higher ceiling than Ridley, if you ask.
Yeah, age plays a factor in that.
Sutton, if he didn't get hurt, huh?
Sutton made a Pro Bowl last year.
He did make a Pro Bowl last year.
Alternate had to be alternate.
Yeah, but really, before he got hurt this year, was on pace for Pro Bowl too.
Yeah, he got hurt too, though, right? He missed a couple.
Yeah,
games.
really got hurt.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot, I mean, Moore's got competition, but you can't argue at worst he's top 3 right now, unless Chark keeps balling. Then you're gonna have to have a debate about Chark because Chark's balling right now. So, I mean, but
And
then
it's hard to make the Pro Bowl in the NFC.
It is.
it is.
It's just in our division. Just in our division.
You got Michael Thomas.
Yep. Just in our division.
Guys
It's
that
Julio.
can make it.
yeah.
But then,
that's a
like-
good point.
Like, let's look at the wide receivers from last year because and none of these guys making it. Oh, AJ Brown's gonna make the Pro Bowl this year. He might make the Pro Bowl this year,
EK Metcalf can make it.
huh? And Metcalf is definitely gonna make the Pro Bowl this year. He better. It'd be a travesty if he doesn't make the Pro Bowl this year.
Yeah, DK's balling.
And McLaurin, Terry McLaurin, he's got a shot too.
McLaurin is balling too.
Yeah, like so, we got there's a lot of options, but and Slayton's having a pretty good year so far, but he was a 5th round pick, so nobody expected him to make the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson's cooking too. There's a lot of good receivers, a lot of good young receivers.
Yeah.
All right.
DJ will be fine though.
To just pick it up in is just touchdowns. Be a red zone option. That's all I need. Just be a red zone.
I mean, look, dude. Like Jarrett, from a fantasy perspective, I want touchdowns too. I want touchdowns. I want catches. I want us to win. And it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. That's all. And I mean, it's easy to say that it's the chemistry thing. That's fair. But,
I think that's what it is, Dave. More than
I think
anything.
yeah.
But then the question becomes. Then it goes back to my whole thing about trading him.
No, you can't trade the DJ. No.
But if we think that Teddy Bridgewater is going to be our quarterback for the next 3 years, and there's no chemistry to be had,
I don't think we know the answer to that yet, Dave. We just gotta let it play out, man.
Buy Teddy lunch or something.
might have to buy him breakfast,
Take
lunch,
that man
and
to the
dinner.
cafeteria or something, man. Get him some food, B.
You don't think a full offseason, let's say Teddy's going to be starting next year, you don't think a full offseason, assuming, again, it's a lot of uncertainty, but that could actually throw and you have all this and you don't have any restrictions, I think you'll see the best of DJ in year 4. I mean,
But the thing is, man.
Well,
the
for
thing
his
is, man.
for his sake, I would hope.
It has to be this year, right? To decide if you want to extend the.
Yeah, like these decisions got to be had now. Like this is not like that's why I made the thing about the trade because I'm like, you got to think about the decisions now. Like
I'm paying
you can't.
DJ.
All right. Well, you don't have to pay him yet. You got to keep him. So then, and the thing is, let me be clear because I don't want you guys to think that I'm just trying to bash the dude. He's gonna get the 5th-year option. Let's not be foolish here. If he's still on the roster, he's absolutely getting the 5th-year option.
Let's pump the brake. The 5th-year option is not a tool. Like the 5th-year option doesn't buy you anything, right? You still have that 5th-year option is you're paying the man the top salaries. Okay, you're still paying the 5th-year option. All it does is allows you to get a contract extension done a little bit longer. That's all that allows you to do. We're throwing
The
around
money
the 50-year
saver.
option. Yeah, it's not a money saver though.
It's not, because you got to get paid. You got to
Really?
pay him as a top 10 receiver.
You got to
or
pay him as a top.
position.
Yeah, it's not a money saver.
Well,
Yeah, but the
depending
thing
on
is,
how good you are.
No,
Like if we're talking like if you're gonna be okay, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to pay in the 50-year option. It's just like franchise tagging. You have to pay the man the top 10 salaries in the position.
top
You
10
have
at
to
the
pay
position.
them. And then the only thing the 50-year option does is it gives you a chance to get a long-term deal done. And because
But it does favor the team. It does favor the team because
it doesn't.
Because
It does.
usually those players are
doesn't,
getting
though.
way more on a yearly average than the 50-year option, though.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Really?
When you sign the 50-year option, you're gonna take that money and you're gonna try to spread it out over the length of the deal. The first cap hit, the first year cap hit is gonna be low. You're not gonna pay him the same as you would on the 50-year option if you let him play out the 50-year option. Who's playing on the 50-year option? Who's actually playing out on that 50-year option?
Oh, obviously the goal is to extend, but what I'm saying is I feel like it's the past couple contracts I've seen, it's like whatever the 5th-year option yearly number is, when the player ends up getting extended, the yearly average is higher than that 5th-year option.
No. The yearly average, yes, but yes.
That's
No,
what I mean.
you're correct. Yes, you're correct
Okay.
there, but that's not what So what I'm talking about is that first hit, the first year hit. I'm comparing the 50-year option
100%.
number versus what
Okay.
they would get paid in that first year.
Oh, no doubt,
if you
for
extend
sure.
it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's the 50-year
Okay.
option is not a tool. All the 50-year option does is give you time to get a deal done. That's all it
for
is.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
all it is. It's not. We're throwing around this 50-year option like it's something that it doesn't buy you anything but time. That's it. It's just a time saver.
For the math real fast, the average salary of the top 10 receivers is 19.5.
Yeah, that's what you have to pay him on. Nobody's paying him that much.
So like
19?
so it gets back to that discussion that we just had. That's why it goes back to me saying, if you want to pay Curtis, you might have to consider trading him, because you might be able to get something out of him in the offseason. If he has another 1,000-yard receiving year, you don't think he has some level of value to another team? All you need is one trading partner to make this happen.
I'll consider
And he's
after
young,
this.
huh?
I'll consider after this draft. If we take a wide receiver this draft, then
That's the thing, right? But the thing is, it's about trying to get the proper value. So, like, if you're considering trading this guy, if you're considering trading him, you want to do it before the draft. Like, you would probably want to do it before the draft.
I don't see him being traded this offseason.
I can't, and he's really young, and that's why to me I would keep him. Robbie's 28. Granted, he could probably play another 3-4 years, but I think
It all depends on that Super Bowl window, bro, which I did a video on. It all depends on when that window starts. You have to make the decision on Teddy. Once you make the decision on Teddy and that quarterback, that's when everything matters. I think you at that point you make the decision on Robbie, where you're going to keep him. But again, I think DJ is going to be in the long-term plans. I think if you listen, well, I don't know if this is a bad thing, but if you listen to Matt Rule talking about him, Matt Rule is expecting him to be that bully this year, that number one guy. And I think I don't think he's getting what he expected. But even then, again, in the context of he's still number 13 in the league in receiving yards. He's still doing well. It's just inconsistent. That's all it is. It's just inconsistent. We can work on that. That can be fixed. Again, the OTAs, off season, those things are going to be fixed. It's the same thing with Teddy Bridgewater, man. We got to be patient. We just got to be patient.
All right, I'm patient. I'm just saying that if the target share stays at the pace that it's in, at the end of the season, if he keeps the pace that he's been for the last 3 games, it's not going to look good, guys. He might not hit 1,000. He's not going to hit 1,000. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's just a little slump. I think he'll get out of it.
I mean, and look, I hope he does. But it's just,
I mean, it's not encouraging. Don't get me wrong.
no, it's not encouraging, because you know where the
something is
targets are
wrong.
going, right? You know he's going to throw it to the running back 10 times, right? You know he's going to throw it to the running back 10 times. 10 is already gone, off gate. At least 10 times going to the running backs. All right, so a normal Teddy day, how many times you expect him to throw? 30?
25, 30.
25, 30. Robbie's getting about 8 to 10 of them. So that leaves 7 to share between everybody else.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Oh, it's fair. Yeah, no, it's concerning. And what I meant by slump is I don't think it's his play. I mean, it's concerning if you want to call it a slump, whatever. It's concerning that he's not getting. I mean, he's too good to only be getting 2-3 targets a game. I mean, that Falcons game on Thursday night, his first catch was in the fourth quarter. Like, that can't happen.
But I will say that he was pretty damn efficient with his 3 targets. Because in the Falcons game, he had 6 targets. And he only got 2 catches. And that what makes me question whether or not they're not, like, it could be, like I said earlier, it could be a scheme situation. And they just made the decision that, hey, DJ Moore ain't in the opportune spots right now. But it could also be a, hey, yo, you're not really utilizing these targets that we're giving you.
Yeah, that's true. Because, I mean, with that Joe Brady system, I mean, it's wide receiver friendly. I mean, if you're a good wide receiver, I mean, I feel like you can shine in that system, regardless of what kind of receiver.
I agree. That system is definitely wide receiver friendly, and it's all about putting those guys in the position to succeed. So I think if you're a decent wide receiver, solid wide receiver, you can succeed in Joe Brady's system. Or it's the same with the Saints. That's why you see guys with the Saints flourishing. Just random dudes are flourishing in that
Marcus
system.
Colston.
yeah, because it's just that system. It definitely helps.
Catch the ball.
All right, Dave, I gotta wrap this thing up, man. I wasn't supposed to be up here this long, so
because the chat came back, we wanted to try to.
Yeah,
have
we did.
Oh,
yeah. So, is there anything else? Let's tie this up. Let's get some last words, Dave. Let's kind of go around the room. Dave, we'll start with you. Any last words on DJ Moore?
DJ, I want you to turn this around, man. I'm concerned because I think he's got to build back the trust for the last 7 games. And if we continue to see what we've been seeing, he's going to lose that trust. Because, yes, I don't disagree. The more wide receivers, the merrier. But, he's going to end up falling down to being the third option from a wide receiver perspective, like he's already looking like right now. And that doesn't bode well for somebody that's a first-round pick. From a fantasy perspective, I mean, I ranked him. I'm just saying, I'm gonna say it now, so there's clarity. From a fantasy perspective, I got him ranked outside. I don't think he's startable this week.
You're gonna miss out on a huge game too. I'm telling you,
I might have to play. The thing is, I'm gonna be forced to play him. I'm gonna be forced to play him because of all the injuries I have. But I don't think he's startable this week. I got him ranked below 30. You're
bugging.
I got him ranked below 30.
Last week, Dave, I got to rescind what I said about you getting paid to give out this fantasy advice. I take that back, bro. You bugging.
Look, man, I was right about Samuel last week.
You were right about Curtis, but you're gonna be wrong about DJ this week. I tell you that.
Well, we'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
Jarrett,
now, granted, and I know I'm taking a risk. And now we'll go around. And I know I'm taking a risk because the last time we played Tampa, he had 8 catches for 120 yards. I get it. I'm taking a risk. Completely understand that. But I don't know if he's going to be able to get 13 targets this week because that's how many he needed to get the 8 catches.
We'll see. Jarrett, any last thoughts on DJ Moore?
Man, I think DJ's going to be fine. I feel like it's just chemistry. It's been a weird year anyway. No training camp, no OTAs. I feel like once that chemistry they get that bond in training camp next offseason, I think they'll be fine. And last thing, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it. Love what you guys are doing. I've been following you guys since the 2017 draft when Rashad reacted to CMC being drafted. I love what you guys are doing here.
Appreciate it. Noly, go ahead.
Jarrett took the words right out of my mouth. Pretty much, I agree. I think DJ's fine. He's only in year 3. Is he even 24 yet?
Yeah, 23.
That's somebody I'm keeping in my long-term plans. You definitely pay DJ, and then you make a decision about Curtis or Robbie. But I think he's going to be fine once he gets that rapport with Teddy. He's going to be fine. I'm not worried in the slightest.
Eddie?
I think we all want DJ Moore to succeed.
Not Dave.
I just think
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I do. And I said it numerous times. Don't do that. Don't do that.
so going back, we all want DJ to succeed. I just think that as a receiver, especially in his third year, it just comes down to catching the ball. He came from especially a college where he had some bad throws and he made them work. So I just think he needs to, chemistry or not, he just needs to be able to catch the balls. That's what he's paid to do, real talk. And I just think he needs to catch the balls. I will say, hey, thank you. I've really enjoyed this. I remember watching Rashad. He was back on Eobard. He had an old. Yeah, he had an old.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was a long time ago, bro.
Yeah, that was.
I was like, what's he talking about? But yeah, that's a long time.
Wow. Yeah, I remember back then. I remember back then watching, trying to get some Panther stuff. So I'm just really happy that y'all allowed me to come on here, especially from back when we did we went to that game down at
that was dope.
Yeah, I got to hang out, got to meet everybody, got to meet Noly and everybody. It was a fun time. Fun time
training
out there.
was
good.
Training camp.
Training camp.
Training.
Dope.
Yeah, man. This is dope, man. Again,
thank you
guys.
Thank you.
I thank you guys for participating. This won't be the last one for sure. This will be a series that we're gonna pick any topic and just discuss it.
Slim wants to do McCaffrey, man.
Yeah, we'll do McCaffrey.
We are gonna do McCaffrey.
I'll let Slim pick the day. If he's gonna join, I'll let Slim.
He has to come on. If we do McCaffrey, he
has to come on.
I agree.
He has to come on.
He can come on. I'll let Slim pick the day so he can come on.
Slim's got to come on if you want to talk about McCaffrey, man.
But yeah, but I think this is good. It gives us to kind of an opportunity to better engage and kind of see what you guys think, because Dave and I bounce ideas off each other all the time, and it's sometimes good to hear another voice. So I think this is good. These are fun, and I expect everybody to participate. But
he said he wants to do it the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
We'll do it whenever you want to do it, bro. It's on you.
Slim,
Camera
you're in,
on.
buddy. You're in. We're talking about McCaffrey the day before Thanksgiving.
Hey Dave, are you gonna burn that DJ Moore jersey?
No, I don't burn jerseys I pay for, bro. I'm not. No.
All right.
No. I got an autograph one too. I respect DJ as a person. I like DJ he's a nice guy, cool dude. It's just
you gotta let the beef go, Dave. But all right, we're gonna get up out of here.
I don't have a beef with them.
All right, we're gonna get up out of here, Dave. Dave hates DJ Moore.
Don't do that, man.
We're gonna get up out of here. Hey, listen. Hey, listen.
Rashad out here gonna have me getting these mean mugs when we go back to training camp, man.
Hey, so listen to
they got all the time in the world.
Hey, so I don't know if it was put out there yet. I don't know if Pat put this out there yet, but Dave and I are going live on Pat Coltrane's show to debate Teddy Bridgewater with the C3 podcast. So
when?
On Friday. It's on Friday. It's gonna be on Friday.
Ooh. Are they haters?
They are haters.
Oh my God.
Clear haters.
Ooh.
So we're gonna debate. They think Teddy Bridgewater is Kyle Allen. So
what? It makes me look like okay.
Yeah. No,
you're
trusting
about me.
You are
me about DJ Moore.
You are very respectful. You are very respectful when it comes to DJ Moore. So when it comes to Teddy Bridgewater, they compared
Allen.
Yeah, they compared him to Kyle Allen.
They compared the records to Kyle Allen, but yeah. Anyway, but we're gonna debate them. It should be fun. Should be interesting. Again, I like to hear other people's standpoints, and I think it's a good topic for Panthers fans in general to hear, because I think there's a lot of casual fans that just kind of say, hey, Teddy Bridgewater ain't the guy. Teddy ain't this, he ain't that. But listen, a lot of people think that a draft pick is just going to solve the problems. But for every Patrick Mahomes, there's a Mitchell Trubisky, a couple of them. So you got to make sure, you got to be careful when it comes to this quarterback position. But we'll talk about it on Friday with them. So tune in. I don't know if he released it yet, but should be happening. Just check.
That's
his Twitter.
disrespectful, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's gonna be 8:00. It's gonna be on Pat Coltrane's show.
Yep.
Friday,
8 p.m. this Friday.
Yeah.
All right, I'm there.
Yeah. So I need all y'all to be there. All the support, all the chat cats in the building will be fun. We just gonna talk Panthers, man. Ain't no beef. Just talking Panthers. So it's all good.
All right, Friday, I'll be there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah. So that being said, we're gonna get up out of here. Panther Nation podcast. Shout out to Eddie, Jarrett, Noly. We'll catch you on the next one on Monday. Check us out on Friday at Pat Coltrane. Peace out. We out of here.
Thank you guys.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah. Bull City.